conversation today, so make sure to sit tight because it's gonna get really interesting. So this morning, it was 7 a.m. and something. I was still in bed when my phone rang. It was my son on the phone, and he started. The first conversation was with his mother, and then she gave him the phone. He was like, "Dad, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing good." And he said, "I have something to tell you." And I'm like, "What? What is it?" Before I give you his answer, this is what you wanna. This is what you wanna know. Ever since my son was little, he's been interested in football. And when he was 5, I went to put him in a football team. And in the beginning, he was really, really not good at all. I swear. As his dad, I was watching the kid playing, and I was like, "Damn, this is gonna be a waste of time." But even me, I had forgotten that whenever you start something new with no record of trying it, you're gonna suck at it, right? I even forgot that when I started photography a few years ago, I was nowhere to be found. So fast forward 2 years later, so when my son was 7, we are playing in a football stadium, mini stadium next to our house. I see him doing dribbles, and I asked him, "Where did you learn that?" He's like, "On YouTube." I'm like, "How come?" He said, "Yeah, just by watching YouTube videos." And I was impressed, like really impressed. Not the type of impressed, or because it's my son. No, really impressed. And I was like, "Oh, interesting." And with time, I became the man that I am now, a spiritual life coach. Went from not believing God and talking about God all the time, not believing in myself to this extent, and now fully, fully, fully believing in myself. So, thanks to all the knowledge that I've been gathering, I started sharing everything regarding my journey with my son. So, talking to him about source, about God, about the mind, about the power of the thoughts, meditation, visualization, and all that. So, a few months ago, you see how I've been bringing you in the history. Few months ago, my son again told me that what I want to do is football. Okay, what I want to do is football. Give me 20 seconds. I want to do something that I forgot to do in the beginning of this life. I am asking to Source and all the high vibrational angel to guide me during this life, to bring all the souls that need to receive this message, all the souls that are ready to awaken right now, ready to receive the information from the universe through me. I am calling you. The time is now. Come here. Thank you. So it is uttered. So it is. Okay, guys, so this is what I always do before every life. I just remember that I didn't do that. Hey, Noah, how you doing tonight? So I started talking 3 minutes ago, and I'm telling an amazing story about the master class on manifestation that my 10 years old son gave me today. So a few months ago, my son told me that he wants to be a football player. That's it. He was like, "That's what I want to do." I was like, "Okay, my boy, you made your bed. Now you have to lay in it." So we have a private football coach right in front of our house. I'm talking like 2 minutes by feet. We just have to, not 2 minutes, is even too much. We just have to cross the street, right? So I took that private coach. Now my son works with him every weekend when he goes there, and I told my son, it's been 2 years that you are outside of a football club, so you are 2 years behind, because in the meantime you put him in jiu-jitsu for 6 months, and then he didn't like it. He wanted out, and he's been doing ping pong for 1 year and a half. And I told him, you are 2 years behind. You are almost 11 years old. So it will be, hello, Emma. It's important for you that you really focus. And I think you need to become an athlete. So I told my 10 years old son that if he wants to become a football player, he needs to reduce the gap between him and all the other players who stayed in football those past 2 years that he was out, and he needs to become an athlete. So what I told him is, okay, I bought a jump rope. I bought also some things for push-ups, and I said, you need to do 200 jump every morning, 200 jumps every night before going to bed. And for the push-ups, I said, okay, do your max. His max was 10. And because I watched a video on YouTube where the guy said, okay, for the push-ups, don't do your max all the time, do 70%. So I told him, now you need to do 7 push-ups every morning, 7 push-ups before going to bed. So he started doing that. He went to his mother, he came back, and then he did 23 push-ups. So the kid went from 10 push-ups max to 23 push-ups in 11 days, just by doing 70% of his push-ups morning and night. When he did in front of me, I was like, wow. And that was like maybe 3-4 weeks ago. So this morning, my son calls me and he tells me, Dad, I have something that I want to tell you. I say, what? He said, I did 1,503 jump ropes. I was like, what? He said, yeah, I did 1,500. I was like, what? He said, yeah. I'm like, how come? He said, yeah, I did it. And I was so shocked. I was so shocked that he did 1,500. Because here's the thing. 2 years ago, I got into jump rope. I started it, right? Of course, I'm the dad. I started it. I started taking him out every morning, 6 a.m., so we would do it together. And in the beginning, he didn't want to do that with me. He didn't. And I had to force him, literally. And then at some point, he started liking it. He started liking it. And I think my maximum was like 210. He ended up beating me, and then his max was like 247, right? But then after a few weeks, I lost interest in jump ropes, to the point where it was my son now telling me, Dad, we are not going. In the morning, trying to wake me up, Dad, let's go out and do the jump rope. But eventually, I completely stopped doing that, and my son also stopped doing that, right? So then recently, when he told me that he wants to be a football player, and I gave him those advice, this is what I also told him. I said, you need to write the affirmations that are going to be a confirmation that you're already a football player. And I said, go to your bedroom, think about sentences. They all need to start with I am. They all need to start with I am. You write 6 to 7 sentences that you know you're going to read every single morning. He went to his bedroom, spent like 10, 15 minutes there. And then he came and said, Dad, I found them, I wrote them. I said, okay, good. Now I want you to put, it was like a Post-it kind of, right? And I said, okay, now I want you to put your Post-it somewhere in your bedroom where you know you're going to look at them every single day with no effort. But you have to decide where you want to put them. Do you know where that kid ended up putting his Post-it? Next to the handle, next to it. When I saw that, I was like, wow, what led you to put it there? He was like, yeah, every time before I leave my bedroom, I have to look at the handle. So if I put it there, I will always look at it, and therefore I will always read it. I was like, wow, this kid is someone. So he's been reading his mantra every single time. And 3 weeks ago, when we were in Paris for the final of the Champions League, I ended up asking him, Adama, don't you have some moments when you actually don't want to say your affirmations out loud? Does it happen to you? Because it happened to me. And he said, yeah, Dad, it happened to me for 2 days. I almost didn't want to say them. But then I told myself, I have multiple thousands of seconds in a day, and to say my affirmations, it only takes me 30 seconds. So why I don't want to do that? And he said, from that moment, I started doing them again every single day. I was like, and that was the first masterclass that he gave me. Maybe you already saw that video that I posted, but that's the masterclass. So the masterclass number 1 is, we have multiple thousands of seconds in a day, so we cannot afford not to take 30 seconds to say our affirmations out loud. Bam, he's 10 years old. And here's something that I didn't tell you. My son been visualizing every single night for the past 4, 5, 6 weeks, every single night, that he is a football player. And if I tell you the things that have been happening, the urges, I started to have so many ideas about the stuff that I need to buy for him. The first idea was, oh, you need to buy football equipment for him. The second idea was, oh, you need to buy football, the ball for him. And when I said it to my wife, she said, oh, her algorithm now started to show to her a lot of dads training their parents. We were like, damn, And we had that conversation around midnight. We said, that kid, he's certainly sleeping, but in his dream, in his mind, he's playing with us. You see what I mean? He's playing with us. I swear. It was something. So when I spoke with him today, and he told me that he did 1,503 jumps, I was like, wow, this kid is really on another level. Really on another level. And to the point where when we ended up when we hang up, I was in bed just laughing like I lost it. I was shocked. I was in bed just laughing like, oh my God, this kid is really someone. I was like, wow, it's like he is teaching me this game of manifestation. You see what I mean? Like I thought I was teaching him, bro. I just presented him the information. The speed at which he is manifesting his life. And listen to this. His mom is not, she's not too much open about, him being a footballer and stuff like that, which I understand. People have their ideas about everything in life. And something that I told my son is, even with the fact that mom is not open for you doing football, I want you to ignore it. Not ignore in a way that he's going to disrespect her, but ignore in a way that he must keep going in his mind and see himself being a football player. He must still go in his mind and feel the joy of him being a football player. And guess what? Just today, this morning, when he actually called me, it was to tell me that his mom now is open for him to go and do a football test at a football camp. And she's been saying no for the past 3-4 weeks, even more. You see what I mean? This is the master class that I got from my son, and he's 10 years old. I swear. So I'm about to go to bed. It's 11 p.m. But you don't know how the voice in my mind is like, yeah, just brush your teeth and go to bed. Don't do your affirmation. You don't have to visualize. You don't have to look at your goals. I was like, I'm gonna do it because my son is giving me a master class, and you wanna trick me? You wanna trick me? I was like, nah, I'm gonna do it. So that's why I wanted to come live here. I wanted to share this amazing story with you, and maybe it resonated with you. Maybe you are like, damn, I need to visualize. I need to start taking care of my body. I need to take care of myself. I need to improve the quality of my life. I need to visualize. I need to meditate. Well, I put together a challenge. It's an 8-week challenge for free. Everything happens through email, and every single week you receive one email with all the instructions that you need to implement one habit in your life. One habit. The goal is that at the end of the 8 weeks, you are a different person from where you are now, in a way that you reduce the gap between who you are now and who you want to be, that you moved a tiny bit. The challenge is not going to bring you to the end vision. In 8 weeks, you won't get there with this structure. But this structure is to remove the friction, to remove the resistance, and to give you the tool to install one habit per week in less than 2 minutes. So if you are interested, go under any of my video on YouTube, and you're going to see in the description, you have the link to join the channel. Okay? And again, you can work with me on one-on-one session. You can send me a DM on Instagram, Inner Light Alignment, or TikTok, Inner Light Alignment, and I will give you a proper discount if you want a longer session, or you can get a free half-an-hour session by checking, once again, any link under my YouTube videos. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.